In the center of the Claris CAD screen is the active drawing window. The Macintosh standard pull-down menus are along the top, and the scroll bars are on the right and at the bottom. Also at the bottom is the location bar showing parameters related to the object selected on the screen, such as X and Y coordinates, relative distances, angle, and percentage. On the left and on top of the drawing window are the rulers, which can be configured to show several different scales and units. On the extreme left is the tool palette, and on the right of the tool palette is an additional set of functions known as modifiers. Claris CAD is designed so that you can draw with a high degree of functionality while keeping only three simple concepts in mind: tools, methods, and modifiers. The tool palette contains several tools used to create objects on the screen. By selecting any of these tools, you can create objects such as text, lines, rectangles, fillets, circles, circular arcs, polygons, and various forms of dimensioning. To draw a rectangle, for example, you simply click once on the rectangle tool, and the icon becomes shaded, indicating that the rectangle tool is active. The pointer turns into a crosshair, and you are ready to draw. To make the rectangle, you simply drag and release, and the rectangle is now an object in Claris CAD. Notice that the object remains selected, and the selection tool is now shaded. This is so that you can immediately begin resizing or moving the object you have just created. The same procedure applies to most of the other tools. With the line tool, you can create lines. The rectangle tool creates rectangles. The circle creates circles. The arc tool makes arcs, and the freehand tool makes an object out of any freehand line you draw. With the Polygon tool, you can draw a polygon by clicking where you want to start, and then without dragging, click at every place you want an angle of the polygon. You double-click to finish the polygon. Text is a special kind of object. You create text by first clicking on the A box. Now there is a cursor in the active window. You can click once anywhere you want text and begin to enter text from the keyboard. You end by clicking anywhere in the drawing or by using the Enter key. The text you have entered turns into an object, and from now on you can treat it as an object. If you double-click on a tool, it will turn black, indicating that it is selected for repeated use. Now you can draw several of the same objects without having to go back to the tool all the time. To deselect the tool, click anywhere in the drawing window. The Fillet tool creates a round edge between two lines. To use it, you click on the tool and then specify the radius of the fillet. The radius is preset at 1/4 of an inch, and this can be seen on the location bar after the Fillet tool is selected. To change the radius of the fillet, type R to select the R box, and then the radius of the fillet you need. In this case, 3/16 of an inch. Then press Return to enter the value. To make the fillet, you drag from the one line to the other and release. The small arrow in the icon box indicates a tool that has pop-up choices of alternative tools associated with it. You simply press on the tool icon and the choices pop up. Now you drag to select the desired tool and release the mouse button. Your choice now appears in the toolbox window. So, looking through the pop-up choices, you see that there are choices for drawing squares as opposed to rectangles, chamfers or round-cornered rectangles as opposed to fillets. Chamfers are created in much the same way as fillets, with the exception that you can specify in the location bar both the angle and the length of the chamfer before you create it. The preset is 45 degrees and 1/8 of an inch. Once more, you drag from the one line and release on the other. You can also choose to draw ellipses or concentric circles. Concentric circles are created by dragging out the first circle and then clicking where you want any other circles. Under the Polygon Tool, there is a tool to create double lines. It allows you to draw two parallel lines at one time. There is also a regular polygon tool, which can draw polygons with any number of sides you have specified. The dimension tools also have choices which you can go into later. An object can be drawn using several different methods. Once you have selected the tool, the method's icon down here allows you to select a particular method of drawing. Once more, pop-up choices are provided for easy selection. Notice, however, that the pop-up choices can be selected by either dragging to the choice and releasing, or by simply clicking on the icon to rotate through the choices. The Rectangle tool has been selected, and now under the Drawing Methods icon, there are 4 methods for drawing a rectangle. In this case, the corner-to-corner method is the default or preset option. This is indicated by a small check mark in the icon. Corner-to-corner expands the rectangle out between 2 diagonal points as you drag. Center-to-corner expands the rectangle out from the center point. You can also make a rectangle between 3 points like this. Here you begin to drag from the first point, release on the second, and then click on the third. The rectangle is formed between the 3 points. Using the same mouse movements, you can make the rectangle by going from center to edge to corner. The last 2 methods are convenient for drawing rotated rectangles. There are different drawing methods for each of the tools. For example, if you select the Line tool, there are 3 drawing methods available. The default is the corner-to-corner method. Then there is the center-to-corner method, and the third allows you to draw lines from one side of the drawing to the other. In each case, the icon shows you how to use the tool with the method chosen. So, first, objects can be drawn by means of the Tools palette. Second, those objects are drawn using different methods. And the third concept is to add a modifier to the combination. Modifiers allow you to locate and create geometry quickly and accurately. Here is an example where you want to create another line at the exact endpoint of this line here. Now you could eyeball it, but it would be difficult and you wouldn't be very accurate. On the other hand, the Endpoint Modifier will do the task with ease and accuracy. This is how you use the Endpoint Modifier. You want to draw an object, so you start by selecting a tool. In this case, it's the Line tool. Next, you need to select the drawing method. You want to draw corner to corner, and this is the default. So it's already selected, and you do not need to change it. Now you must add the modifier to help you locate the exact end point of the line. You do this by selecting the Endpoint Modifier. You have selected a tool, a method, and a modifier, so you are ready to draw. To indicate which endpoint the modifier should jump to, you begin the line by clicking within a certain preset distance from the line, and on the side of the line you want the line to snap to. Now it could have been the endpoint of a polygon or an arc, and the line would have jumped to the endpoint because of the modifier. In this example, you want to connect a line to the exact center of a circle. This would be extremely difficult without the help of the center modifier. To do this, you select a line, then the method of drawing the line, then the center modifier. You need a way to indicate which circle you want the line to snap to the center of. To do this, you simply drag from the border of the circle. The line automatically snaps to the exact center of the circle. Now, while you're still in the process of dragging, you can position the line wherever you want it and release. Now let's see what happens when you use the procedure to draw a rectangle starting at the center of a circle. You select the tool, the method you leave as corner to corner, and then you select the Center modifier. You drag from the border of the circle and release. Because of the modifier, one corner of the rectangle snaps to the center of the circle. A similar thing would happen when drawing other objects, such as arcs, polygons, and dimensions. The Center modifier will also work when you want to connect to the center of a line, a rectangle, a square, or an oval. So modifiers work on many different objects. Modifiers can also be used with the Selection tool to pick up an object at an exact location, such as its center, corner, or endpoint. For example, let's say you want to move this line so that its end joins exactly onto the end of another line. To do this, first make sure the Selection tool is active, then select the modifier of your choice, and then pick up the object. Now you can again select a modifier to exactly position the object where you want it. Again, if you wanted to use the same tool and modifier repeatedly, you could double-click on the tool to permanently select it, and then double-click on the modifier to also permanently select it. Now you can repeatedly use the tool and modifier on any object you please. Selecting a new tool, however, will deselect the modifier. Modifiers can locate points only within a certain sensitivity range. For example, how close do you have to click to the line in order for the modifier to find the object and snap into position? This is the sensitivity range, and it can be set to high, medium, or low by going to the Preferences dialog box under the Layout menu. The preset is high, which means you will have to click very close to the object, while low means you can click further away. The Intersection modifier connects the object that you are drawing to a point where two other objects intersect. They don't necessarily have to be two lines. They can be a rectangle and a circle, for example. The Invisible Intersection modifier connects an object to a point where two non-intersecting lines converge. With the Invisible Intersection modifier, you eliminate any ambiguity by first selecting the modifier and then dragging from one line and releasing on the other. The modifier will locate the invisible intersection of the two lines selected. The Point On modifier connects an object to the exact point on a line. The Corner modifier connects an object to the exact corner of a rectangle. A line is an obvious choice for attaching to the corner of a rectangle, but you could also use another object. For example, let's say you need a circle with its center on the corner of a rectangle. First, you select the Circle tool, then you select the Center Out method of drawing, and then the Corner On modifier. Now you can draw the circle on the corner of the rectangle. The Percent Of modifier begins to draw an object a specified percent along a line of another object. When you select the Percent Of modifier, the percentage parameter shows up on the location bar. It is always preset at 50%. To change it, say to 25%, you type 25 and then press Enter. Now, the Percent Of modifier causes the object you are drawing to jump to a point 25% along the object you are positioning it with. The modifiers you have looked at so far are location modifiers. They specify the relative location of one object with another. These three remaining icons are geometric constraint modifiers. They make objects conform to familiar geometric requirements. Normally, the geometric constraint modifier icons are dotted images on the screen. When you select the tools they apply to, they become solid like all the other icons. This indicates they are now usable with the tool selected. The perpendicular line modifier, for example, applies to drawing lines, and it becomes solid when you select the Lines tool. To draw perpendicular lines, you select the Perpendicular Lines modifier and drag from within the sensitivity range of an object. The line you are drawing is held perpendicular to the object, and you can place it anywhere you please. The line is established where you release. If you want to draw a line tangent to a circle, you can select the line, then click on the Tangent modifier. Now when you drag a line from the border of a circle, the line will become a tangent to the circle. The Offset modifier duplicates an object and moves it a specified distance from the object. For example, if you want to create a line parallel to one you already have, you select the Line tool and then the Offset modifier. Now when you drag on the object, a duplicate is made and you can place the duplicate a certain offset distance from the original object. You place the object by releasing the mouse button. The duplicate line is parallel to the original. The Offset modifier is also useful for other objects, such as concentric circles or rectangles. When you drag from a rectangle, a duplicate rectangle with the same center point is created where you release. In the process of drawing with a single tool, methods and modifiers can be used in combinations. Here are some objects. If you want to draw a line between the corner of the rectangle and the end point of the line, this is what you can do. You select a line because that is the object you want to draw. Then you make sure you have the corner-to-corner method selected. Now you select the Corner modifier because this is where you want to place the beginning of the line on the corner of a rectangle. Dragging from the border of the rectangle and near the rectangle's corner causes the line to snap to the corner. Now you need to change the modifier to the Endpoint Modifier. So without releasing the mouse button, you go to the Endpoint Modifier and release. Now you can click on the line near the endpoint to complete the line. Notice that even if you had released the mouse button before you had selected the modifier, you could still grab the handle of the line, select a modifier by releasing on it, and then find the endpoint of the line. So in this way, you can change modifiers repeatedly as you draw. In this example, you need to connect a line from the exact center of a circle and end the line perpendicular to one of the sides of a rectangle. You do this by selecting the Line tool, the corner-to-corner method, and then the Center modifier. When you drag from the border of the circle, the beginning of the line is established in the center of the circle. You change modifiers to the Perpendicular modifier by releasing on it. Now when you click on the rectangle's side, the perpendicular is established. So using combinations of tools, methods, and modifiers gives you numerous powerful possibilities for drawing objects.